Welcome guys, this is the Pixel 2 desk setup tour.
Hey guys, Tony here from Tectonic Byte, and behind me is the Pixel 2 desk setup tour. So I know this isn't very ideal, especially because the Pixel 2 has such a small display, but you can make it work. So the point of making this video is to show off the performance of the Pixel 2 and that you can actually use it as a PC because it's so powerful. It has 8GB of RAM, Snapdragon 835 processor, and it runs stock Android at Android 8.0 Oreo. And with all these specs and optimization, the Pixel 2 actually runs really well. All the products that I mentioned are going to be linked in the description down below, and if you want to check them out, go right ahead. And if you purchase from them, I get about a 10% commission for any purchase, so that really helps out the channel, and whatever money I make from that will just go straight back to the channel to make better quality videos for you guys. And without any further ado, let's begin. So the main centerpiece of this setup is the HP 23ES monitor, and I just have that for aesthetic purposes because I can't find a way to connect the Pixel 2 to the monitor. Since the monitor only has an HDMI input, I can't connect the Pixel 2 to it. But if you have a USB-C monitor, you could just connect that using a USB-C cable from the Pixel 2. The real centerpiece of this setup is the Pixel 2, and the display is a 5-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1080p, and the colors are good, and the screen is overall a good experience. The bezels are pretty big, and that's a little bit annoying, especially because you're going to be using this as the main display, but as I said before, this video is just to show off the performance of the Pixel 2. Anyways, connecting the Pixel 2 to the peripherals and everything else on the setup, I'm using an Aukey USBC adapter to a Belkin USB 3.0 hub with an Ethernet port. And with this, I plugged in the peripherals, and what I have plugged in is a keyboard, which is the Logitech K360 keyboard, and this keyboard is pretty good because it was pretty cheap and the keys don't feel that mushy, yet they don't feel mechanical. It's kind of an in-between and it feels kind of good. And the mouse that I'm using that's connected to the USB 3.0 hub is the Logitech G602, and this mouse is pretty good because it has tons of programmable keys. The scroll wheel is really good and the buttons are really tactile. The mouse is also really ergonomic, and I actually find it a little more comfortable in my hands and more ergonomic than the MX Master, which I tried out at Best Buy. Another peripheral I have connected to the USB 3.0 hub, well, it's not really a peripheral, but I have connected an SD card and micro SD card adapter, so you can just plug in your SD card or micro SD card and just edit photos using Snapseed on the Pixel 2. For the mousepad, I'm using a mousepad that I got as a coupon a while ago, and this is my old logo that I have, but I'll just link some generic mouse pads in the description down below. To the side of the setup, I have the Daydream View, and this is the original one because I got it a while ago discounted. And the Daydream View is basically a VR headset, so you can just take off the adapter for the Pixel 2 and just hook it up to the headset, and then you can just play VR games like that. And the Daydream View is really cool because it's made of fabric, and it's a premium fabric, so it's not just gonna break. It also has a compartment on the inside to keep the controller in, which is really neat, especially when you're not playing it. And the band is adjustable, of course, so it can fit any head size, and it actually fits my head perfectly on the smallest size. The controller is pretty good. It has a home button and another button, which I think serves as a back button or function button, but I don't remember as I don't really have time to play VR games that often. But the controller offers just enough controls to function properly. And on the side of the controller, it also has a volume keys, and on the top of it, it also has a touch sensor part, so you can navigate throughout the apps. The Daydream View is honestly a really good headset, and I love using it, especially with the Pixel. On the very corner of the setup, I have the Google Home Mini, and this I got for free with the Pixel 2. So the Google Home Mini has tons of cool features, and Google Assistant is honestly really smart and really cool. So I can just say commands like, okay Google, set a reminder, or like how's the weather, and to call specific people. I can also hook it up to my Pixel 2 and cast audio like music straight to the Google Home Mini, so it can serve as a speaker as well. And especially now, it's around Black Friday, and the speaker is about $30, which is about $20 off, which is a really good deal, and I'll have that linked in the description down below. The weird thing is that it has to be plugged in all the time, and it charges via micro USB, which is kind of weird, especially because everything Google is using now is USB-C, and they're really pushing the future, especially removing that headphone jack. Okay Google, tell me a joke.
One joke coming up. 6:30 is the best time on the clock. Hands down.
Okay Google, tell me another joke.
Okay, here you go. Why are libraries so strict? They have to go by the book.
And the last thing I have on this setup is the lamp, and this lamp is really cool because it has adjustable brightness settings, temperature settings, and the neck, which is adjustable as well. The brightness slider is really cool, and it's really well made as well. The temperature settings are also really useful because you can use the cool light settings in the morning to concentrate or study. You can use the natural setting just for regular reading and usage. And you can use the warm setting for when you're about to go to sleep, and it promotes sleep. As for the table I'm using, it's a pretty cheap table from Costco, and I would not really recommend it, but it's a really good budget option if that's what you're going for. I'm gonna link the table down below in the description, but I'm also gonna link some Ikea tables down below because I'd recommend getting one of those instead. So now that I've showcased all the products on this setup, the Pixel 2 actually performs really well as a PC. So what I use this setup for, or what you can use this setup for, is for multitasking. You can also photo edit, and you can surf the web, surf social media, and pretty basic stuff like that. And since it runs Android, you can multitask like what I said before, and it's actually pretty fast, especially because it runs stock Android. You can definitely use this setup, and with the mouse and keyboard it helps a ton, especially because it basically makes a Pixel 2 a laptop, but in a really small form factor. Yet again, this setup is not very ideal, and I would not recommend it to anyone, but if you want to try something new or just to test the limits of the Pixel 2, this setup works. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed and liked this setup, please leave a like and subscribe, and also leave a comment down below telling me what you think about the setup.